大家好，这里是星星不见月亮。
What do you think of when you mention Chinese cars? Is it BYD, poor overseas sales, or China's huge auto market? However, the poor overseas sales has been changed. China's auto exports exceeded 2 million for the first time in 2021, a breakthrough that has hovered around 1 million for many years. 10 years ago, the annual export volume of China's automobiles just reached 1 million, and after many years, the overall automobile export has shown a downward trend. In 2018, this data returned to the millions level again, and it has been hovering at the 1 million mark for several years and stagnant until the explosive growth in 2021. In 2021, the export of complete vehicles exceeded 2 million for the first time, reaching 2.015 million, a year-on-year increase of 100%, ranking third in the world, second only to Japan with 3.82 million and Germany with 2.3 million. In the first 5 months of this year, the export volume of Chinese vehicles has reached 969,000 units. Despite the impact of the epidemic, the export volume has reached a record high in the same period. Surpassing the second-ranked Germany, it is only a matter of time. One of the interesting changes is that in 2021, the sales of the Russian auto market was dismal, but the sales of a Chinese brand Haval increased by 125%, and the sales of Chery increased by 266%. Is it luck or chance that China's car export sales exceed 2 million in 2021? Why are Chinese cars popular in Russia? Of course, there is a factor of opportunity for China's auto exports to exceed 2 million, but if there is no strength and no preparation, it will not be able to seize the opportunity. During the worst period of the epidemic, the supply chain of global car companies suffered a huge impact, and many were forced to reduce or stop production. Thanks to effective prevention and control measures in China, the Chinese auto industry chain can quickly resume production, and Chinese auto companies take advantage of this opportunity to become the biggest winners in the market. The epidemic is both adversity and an important driving force. It can turn adversity into an opportunity. This is not something that can be solved only by luck. It all depends on hard work. If you think that Chinese car brands live in the world's largest single market, you still think too little. The competition in the Chinese market is becoming more and more fierce, so exporting is another option. All along, Chinese relevant departments have spared no effort to support China's own brands. Among them, there are many clauses restricting joint venture brands, so that the independent auto brands have a relatively relaxed growth environment. With the continuous growth of various brands, facing and defeating stronger opponents has become their next goal. The National Development and Reform Commission and the Ministry of Commerce issued the Special Administrative Measures for Foreign Investment Access on December 27, 2021. In the field of automobile manufacturing, the restriction on foreign ownership in passenger car manufacturing will be abolished, and the same foreign company will no longer be restricted to establish 2 or less joint ventures in China to produce the same vehicle products. Therefore, the competition in the Chinese auto market will be more intense. Wei Jianjun, chairman of Great Wall Motors, said, "Globalization is the only way out for Chinese auto companies. If cell phone brand cars are blindly dependent on the domestic market and do not go to the global platform, they will have no international influence, and the dividends of more than 20 years will be wasted." Great Wall, Chery, Geely and other traditional car companies were among the first to export, and they have been in the European, Asian and South American markets for many years. New power brands have also gone overseas. For example, NIO, XPeng, and VOYAH have set their first overseas stop in Europe. This requires courage, because the European market has always been considered the most closed and solidified. According to data from the European Automobile Manufacturers Association, more than 80% of the sales of 11.74 million vehicles in Europe in 2021 was divided up by local European car companies. Honda, which has a high sales volume in Asia, can only get a 0.6% share in the European market, which shows the difficulty in the European market. It can be seen that China's auto export sales exceeded 2 million due to both timing factors and adequate preparation. At the same time, Russia has become something special. At its peak, annual demand in the Russian domestic market reached 2.6 million vehicles, and car brands are vying for this huge market. When the Russian auto market suffered a disaster due to the Russian-Ukrainian war, local car companies stopped production, overseas auto companies either stopped production or withdrew from the market, and many well-known car brands announced that they would stop supplying new cars to Russia, including almost all European, American, Japanese, and Korean auto brands. Chinese auto brands have long been deployed in the Russian market, and they have introduced their own brand models to the Russian market through the establishment of factories and exports, but the overall market performance was not good. In 2021, Russian car sales was 1.667 million units, and obviously, this number is unlikely to be reached this year. Tigran Parsadanyan, Deputy Director of Russia's Railway Engineering Department, said that Russian passenger car sales are expected to fall by around 50% to 750,000 units in 2022 as the Russian auto industry struggles with supply problems. While other overseas brands have withdrawn to give up market share, Chinese auto brands that still stick to the Russian market seem to have the best opportunity for development. According to Autostat, a Russian auto industry analysis agency, the market share of Chinese brands in the Russian market continues to rise, reaching 16.9% in May 2022, a year-on-year increase of 150%. So why are Chinese cars popular in Russia? There are four main factors. First, Chinese cars are mainly sold in stock form at dealerships, and the waiting time from ordering a car to picking it up is very short. Auto industry expert Igor Morzareto said, Chinese cars can be bought within a month or even immediately. China dominates the production of automotive chips. Some production units are in mainland China, some in Taiwan, China. There are indications that China first supplies its own automakers with chips and then exports them. Second, Chinese car dealers do not force consumers to buy other accessories and do not raise prices in this way. Chinese car companies prohibit dealers from bundling sales and strictly enforce this requirement. Third, while prices are rising for all models, prices of Chinese cars are not rising as fast as those of their competitors. Finally, all four Chinese automakers entering the Russian market have long launched a series of preferred models that have improved in quality and variety, even surpassing some competitors. The rise of new energy vehicles has created an opportunity for Chinese car brands to enter Europe. In the era of fuel vehicles, Chinese car companies have no chance in the European market, but with new energy vehicles, Chinese car companies have opened up the European market. The traditional brands located in the European base are also accelerating their transformation into new energy sources. The competition facing Chinese auto brands is still fierce. However, unlike the era of fuel vehicles, this time Chinese auto brands have enough capital and confidence. With the occurrence of the Russian-Ukrainian war, Chinese car brands also took this opportunity to deploy in the Russian market. It is believed that China's auto exports